Polio is a disease that causes permanent paralysis. We can't cure it, but we can prevent it. Two important tools help to prevent polio, two safe, effective vaccines. One of these vaccines is given with just 2 drops into the mouth of a child. This is called the oral polio vaccine. The other is given with an injection. This is called the inactivated poliovirus vaccine. They both teach children's bodies how to fight off the polio virus, but they do this in different ways. The oral polio vaccine builds protection in the child's intestine. This vaccine not only protects the child who receives it, but also protects others around the vaccinated child. Several doses of the oral polio vaccine should be given to every single child in places where polio is a threat. The injectable vaccine builds protection in the blood instead of the gut. It helps to boost immunity and keeps countries free from polio. But it doesn't stop polio spreading between children, so it is not as useful in places where the virus is still circulating. We need the oral vaccine to stop the virus wherever it is found. Once polio has been stopped everywhere, the inactivated poliovirus vaccine will be used on its own to keep populations protected. Both of these vaccines have been approved as safe and effective by the World Health Organization. To do their job properly, they need to be given to all children, no matter where they live. Thanks to these vaccines, cases of polio have fallen by over 99% around the world. Let's vaccinate every last child. Let's end polio forever.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to NOA River State Dialogue, the weekly sensitization program, where we sensitize and enlighten the populace on government policies, programs, and activities. And as we do that, we consciously get feedback from government to properly fine-tune their policies and programs to suit the populace for which those policies are crafted for. Global eradication of polio appears to be close after declaration, indicating eradication of the wild types 2 and 3 and circulation of wild type 1 limited to Afghanistan and Pakistan. However, eradication remains a challenge with increasing incidences of paralytic poliomyelitis cases due to circulating vaccine-derived polio viruses. Viewers, today I'm sure you'll be surprised that we're veering a little bit, even though we're in the heat of political time processes. We're not discussing politics today. You have to be alive to play politics, of course, you know that. Viewers, our topic today is child and importance of the novel oral polio vaccines type 2. That's what we're going to discuss today. And I have a very beautiful lady beside me and a cleric, a gentleman from the Muslim, our brothers, to dissect this topic. And on my immediate left, I have Dr. BABBO Diana, Health Educator, River State Primary Health Care Management Board. You're welcome to the River State Dialogue.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
And also, just immediately after her, sitting beside her, I have NSCIA AWHELEBE, UHOR, the National Vice President, National Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, and the leader of River State Muslims. Sir, you're welcome to the River State Dialogue.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And the viewers, like I would always tell you, we're here because you're there. The program is to sensitize you, to enlighten you, and to help government to properly fine-tune those policies and programs that will enable you, participate in the entire gamut of government affairs. And that's the reason why we're here. And so, if you're not part of the program, I can tell you that the program is not complete. So therefore, keep the comments coming. your questions, your comments, keep them coming. And viewers, do you know what? Because of you, apart from the Facebook platform, we have introduced a phone line for you where you can call in and also make your comments. If you cannot comment on the Facebook platform, you can also call in and then make your voice message. You will hear your voice message. But at the due time, the phones will come up and you see the numbers on the screen. I'll also, re-emphasize by calling out the number for you so that you can also use that platform to reach us here. My name is AWHELEBE. I am your anchor person for the University Dialogue today. We are going to start on this note. Dr. Babbo, I want to kickstart the discussion conversation with you today. I want to know, what is the oral polio vaccine type 2 all about?
Okay, thank you very much. Like you had introduced, saying about eradication of polio, wild polio viruses, and then now we are worried about circulating vaccine-derived polio virus causing the same thing that the wild polio virus causes in our children, which is what? Paralysis. We give vaccines actually to combat this polio disease. And polio is a viral illness that affects children, and it also can affect adults, but in its most severe forms, it causes paralysis, and that's what we are worried about, this paralysis in our children. So we give a vaccine, which is the oral polio vaccine, to combat this virus. And this NOPV is one that has been genetically engineered for this circulating vaccine-derived polio virus type 2 that we are now seeing amongst us. Nigeria has been declared wild polio virus free since 2019, but we found that as time went on, with the COVID and lockdowns, people were indoors, we were not carrying out our routine immunizations as we should, our outreaches. We had a immunity gap. There were children that we couldn't immunize as we ought to. And so we started seeing this circulating vaccine-derived polio in our sewage system, because once in a while the epidemiologists go out to our sewage system, they go out to our gutters, to the waterways, and they sample to find some organisms, and they picked this particular one. And it was found in some states of the Federation. So we started to do what we call a response. We don't want to be overwhelmed by it when it does come. So we have this response, we call it outbreak response. So we started with campaigns in 2021. We've had 2 so far. We had one again this year, last month, April, on the 9th to 12th. We're having one again by the 14th of this month, which is just tomorrow. We are doing our campaign, outbreak response against polio campaign. We're starting it tomorrow till the 17th. So we're going to use this novel, they call it novel oral polio vaccine type 2 to carry out this campaign. So the children are entitled to 2 drops, children 0 to 5 years, 2 drops of this vaccine. Yes, will confirm immunity. And it does not matter if they took at the last campaign, which was last month. It also does not matter if they've taken in their routine immunization, which is last Friday or Monday or Tuesday last week. Once the health workers come out, we want them to oblige us. The children should have these drops of vaccine, oral polio vaccine, dropped into their mouth. It will also help us to boost the immunity. Our aim is to boost the immunity of our children in the community. If we have just one case, if we find just one child, it's already a problem. So we don't want to find that one child, so we want to fight back. That's what this campaign is all about.
Madam, I just want to say this. In your, opening this thing, you said Nigeria has been declared polio free. But what happened? In the course of your discussion, what happened? That we still have to be grappling with this polio issue, back and forth. What happened? And then that's one. Then number 2, the novel, novel means is new. Yes, the novel polio type 2, is it different from the normal polio vaccine? For example, the ECG. and the rest of them. Is it a complete departure from it, or they are just the same thing? Maybe because of mutation, they came up with this.
So let me get to that point. You know, I said we are declared wild polio free. Why? Because we've been giving immunization with oral polio vaccines. You know, we have the oral ones, we have the inactivated ones, like we initially in our presenting view, we did that. That oral polio vaccine we use for our routine immunization, it's I won't say it's unstable, I won't say it's bad, but we found that with time, because polio vaccine is a live vaccine. Live attenuation means it's weakened a little bit and given to the children. When they take it, it now does what it does in the body and builds immunity for the children. Now they can pass that vaccine dropped in their mouth through the feces into the waterways. When it gets there, remember, like I said, it's a weakened virus. It's already in the waterways. While it's there, like every other organism is trying to survive, it's trying to be alive and thrive with the rest of us in the world. So it wakes up from that state, you know, and begins to change its form. That's mutation. It's changing its form. A vaccine we gave, which is a virus, a weakened virus, has now changed its form in the waterways to something else and has become a vaccine-derived virus. That one now can also, when it makes contact with a child that is not immunized, affect the child just like the wild polio virus can, affect the nerve endings and begin to cause problems for us, which is the paralysis, which is the most severe form of this viral illness. So it's the mutation that is the problem. Then when we saw that it's a vaccine-derived virus, we started looking for a way around it, which is now this novel oral polio virus vaccine type 2. So it is more genetically stable. When it's given to our children, it will not, when it enters the poo and then is excreted into the water, it will not mutate. It's unlikely to mutate and cause a problem for us in the future. Now we are agitating for the IPV, which is the inactivated one. It's an injectable. But for now, we are still doing the oral polio and want to get as much children immunized as we can. So that's the general picture I've painted.
Okay, sir, let me take you this. Now, what is the role of the religious communities in this exercise, and how will you access the cooperation of the religious institutions, sir?
Thank you very much. The role of religious leaders or institutions is well cut out. It is our job to ensure that we mobilize our members to participate or access programs such as this exercise that is coming up. Government spends a lot of money and time to come up with services that can make life more bearable for the people. All it takes is for people to access these services to the benefit of they themselves and their children. It will not make sense for government to spend so much time and money researching and coming up with drugs and vaccines that will enhance our lives and those of our children, and for us to sit back and say, no, it doesn't concern us. No, that will be against the ethics of our religion. Islam, through the Holy Quran, enjoins on Muslims to do anything possible, humanly possible, to save life. Because it says, one life lost or killed is as if you have killed the entire mankind. And we are told that we are about 12 billion people on the earth. What the Quran is saying is that if, through your carelessness or negligence, one person dies as a result of that, it is as if 12 billion people have died. Likewise, if you manage to save one soul through whatever means, health means or whatever, you have saved 12 billion people. So you can imagine the weight Allah the Almighty places on human life. When you equate one life with 12 billion lives, you can now see the urgency. So it is for us now to mobilize the people, sensitize them, and urge them to go and avail themselves of those services. So As a matter of fact, we have been doing that. And while we are not where we want to be, I can tell you that we are progressing to the extent that people on their own now ask us, yeah, that immunization, which day it will happen again? That tells you that either that person missed out or somebody close to them missed out, and they are saying, I don't give myself immunization. Me, I know they for her that time. Which time they will come again? I will help you ask. And they ask. So it encourages us, and it shows that our messages are sinking in our people, and they are looking forward to it, even though there are some reservations here and there. But this can be surmounted.
Thank you, sir. I'm coming back with you with a follow-up question. But
Okay.
Before that, let us join our correspondents who is on standby waiting, with the report from Akutoro local government area. Telma, operator Harry, you're on. Please take it up. Let's hear what you have for us.
Welcome to NOA Rivers Dialogue. This week, the NOA Rivers Dialogue is discussing the topic, the child and the importance of the novel oral polio vaccine type 2. Joining me on this platform this morning is Mrs. Joy Obini, one of the focal persons in the primary health care center in the Akutoro local government area. Ma, please, can you throw a little light on the topic? Thank you.
The child is our future leaders tomorrow. So we are going to prevent the child from having this virus. And the type of vaccine we are going to use is novel type 2 vaccine. Is to prevent the child from having the virus. This white polio virus is a killer disease, one of the killer diseases. So when we immunize the child with this vaccine, it's going to prevent the child from having this virus. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I am Operator Harry Shelma, live in Akokotoro. I'm Abonima, headquarters of Akokotoro local government area. Thank you. Over to you, presenter.
Thank you, Operator Jabez. We will also join, in the same day, we want to join our correspondent who is also on standby from EKIYE local government. Madam Charity Goodchild, you're on. Take it up, please. Let's hear from you what you have for us. Charity Goodchild.
Thank you, Mr. Asenebo Abie, for having us on NOA Dialogue, Rivers State, for this week. Thank you we are in the premises of NSCIA General Hospital, EKIYE local government. We are here to present the topic, child and the importance of novel oral vaccine, polio vaccine, type 2. I'm here with Mrs. Omimo Olu Kemi Gomba Abe. Mrs. Olu Kemi Gomba Abe is the Chief Nursing Officer in the EKIYE General Hospital. We are reporting live from EKIYE local government. Hand over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for choosing me to present this hour. According to the topic, the child. Who is a child? A child is that little one that was born from the age 0 to 17 years. Or we take another one, the most recent, from age 0 to 5 years. And what do we talk, when we talk about novel, what do we mean? Is umbilical cord that connects the baby to the mother in the womb, and the baby gets its nutrients and oxygen and exchanges its waste while in the womb. We talk about polio vaccine. Polio vaccine is that immunization given to a child to prevent poliomyelitis, paralysis, and otherwise. I think it is so brief, but that is a little we can do now. God bless you.
Thank you, Mrs. Olu Kemi Gomba Abe. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Abie Sanebo, the presenter for NOA Dialogue for this week. We are reporting.
Thank you, Madam Godchild Charity, for your report there. Just before we took those reports, we have a third discussant who just, joined us on the cause of the correspondence, and I have the privilege to introduce Reverend Dr. Felix EKIYE, Dean Christian Ecumenical Center, River State. Sir, you're welcome to the River State Dialogue.
Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Bless you too, sir. Sir, just before we join them, I said I have a follow-up question for you.
Yeah.
You said by the grace of God, now people come to you because they are aware that you are part of this team. You're part of the entire team. You know, you collaborate with the health and everything. You sensitize, you educate, and then you also mobilize them for the program. So I want to ask, I hope you do this thing in collaboration with your sister religion, the Christian organization. Because when you get information, I hope you take to them, and then when they also come to you, you work together, synergy, you know, the Christians and the Muslims. I hope you do this together.
Yes, we work hand in hand. We have many interfaith programs and projects going on. We are always together. The River State Council for Islamic Affairs and the Christian Association of Nigeria. We are working hand in hand. And thanks to the Ministry of Health, especially the State Primary Healthcare Management Board, they have been pivotal in strengthening the relationship between Christians and Muslims in the collaboration towards facing these health challenges. So I can tell you that when we also go out to mobilize, we don't mobilize just only Muslims. We open up the space. So if, for instance, we go to any particular mosque, we don't limit the services to only Muslims. It is open. Anybody comes in, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, everybody is attended to. In fact, in many cases, because of the timing, sometimes it is non-Muslims that first of all come in before prayer time when Muslims will come in. So there's collaboration between us and the Christians, and it's quite healthy, I can assure you.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That word is quite healthy. Sir, you just came in. We're talking about, you know, the question. You know, so what is the role of the religious body? Now, you are a Christian. We want to know from the Christian point of view what you do to enhance, to collaborate with your sister religious body, and even with the health officers and all of that. What do you do? How well do you educate your people to open up their churches when they come for this immunization? And the churches, you know, people gather from all walks of life in the churches. How well do you inform them to open their houses, you know, their school, their place of work when they come for this immunization? So, in essence, what is the role of the religious body, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like my colleague from the Islamic Council has said, we work together, not just for COVID-19 or polio.
Yes.
Many years ago, especially me himself working together. I was many years at the Christian Council of Nigeria, 4 Cs. St. Andrew, my own job, 70s, 80s, to be collaborating with health people in the Islamic Council. Not only the Islamic Council, with us, we have the traditional religion with us. We have the Rumba, they are not in kind. 7 Days Adventists are not in kind. But we have a program that will bring all of them together, working together for health purposes. That's the area we bring them together. And we open our doors. Like last we have a meeting at the Medical Center. The Muslims were there and the Christians were there and also other religions, and they what's called Faith for Life Initiative. That brings everybody, because of primarily is for health purposes. COVID-19, polio that have just come in. But polio have been long ago. One was training many years ago, and which we are trained. And we are told that by Nigeria is only in African nation. Nigeria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria. That's the 3 countries remaining. But coming to Christian religious organization, so that we can make sure we eradicate polio in Nigeria. But yet still, I was surprised that 2001, when they had to call us, my sister said, and they call us committee every time, that polio is again coming out, and what do we do? Maybe that's why, and we are also involved. That's why we are saying, come again now, that we can now emphasize and talk to them for what. And I do what the chairman was there, that's the chairperson, the health educator in the state. Also, they are calling us every time for meeting. So we collaborate together for purpose of health purposes. So
what I'm hearing this morning is encouraging, and I'm very happy about it. There's a Bible portion in Timothy that said, a spiritual exercise, profited all, but bodily exercise also profited in little. Yeah, and the bodily exercise will, take it to mean maybe the physical exercise will do, the health, consciously going to check your health and also taking your drugs and all, things like that. Thank you very much, sir. Madam, let me come back to you. Now, what is the age bracket? Yeah? What is the age bracket category that this vaccination exercise is targeted at?
Okay, thank you very much. We are targeting children 0 to 5 years. 0 meaning newborn, and then till 5 years of age. Yes. And let me just quickly clarify that the speaker from LMA, she was addressing the novel. No, we're not talking about novel as in umbilical cord, please. We're talking about a new type of oral polio vaccine that was specifically produced to fight this circulating vaccine-derived polio virus, please.
Just like the novel coronavirus.
Because
it was new. Research, sometimes counter and counter things. Hey, coronavirus is spread through air. No, it's not air. No, if it land on car, it could last for as long as 11. No, it dies because it's novel. People are still researching to know exactly, and then the mutation, it changes form and all of that. Thank you, ma. And are there, categories of persons that should not be vaccinated? If there are, who are those people? Are there categories of people that cannot be vaccinated?
Yes, remember that the vaccine is a live vaccine. It's a live attenuated vaccine. That means it's a weakened virus. So if some people know their children are positive HIV. Yes. So we are not advising that the child who is positive and possibly not on her drug should then be given a live virus like this particular one.
So an HIV patient, positive child should not be given.
Who isn't on drugs? Some mothers may know and not want to give the drug.
Okay.
Yes. Some are on drugs, so they can have it.
Okay, the one that is on drug, that is the HIV positive that is on drug, can take the immunization that can be vaccinated.
Yes.
But the one that is not on drug should not be vaccinated.
Yes.
And Fias, I hope you're taking note of this peculiarity, so you know what to do when because health officers beginning from 14 will come to your house. So please take note of these things. They are very, very key and they are very important. Please. Now, how will the novel oral polio vaccine type 2 be administered? Who will administer them? Is it only strictly by 2 drops in the mouth, or there are other avenues through which it can be administered?
That's why it's called oral polio vaccine. It must be administered by the mouth. Yes. And then it's not. We are also in collaboration with churches. It's not just health workers that are coming around. We are training some volunteer workers in our churches to just help us drop on Sunday, this coming Sunday. We have health sections in the church, in most of our churches. We want those people that work there to help us drop these vaccines in the mouth of our children when it's brought to them, because we from the state will carry those vaccines to them, to help us do it. So health workers will do it, volunteer workers in our churches will do it as well. We are also looking at maybe if we can get volunteer workers in the mosque to train them a little bit. This is how to drop it. This is how to keep a record for us. Take the vaccine for this program, do it for us, and let's gather the data.
Yeah, feels like we told you, we're introducing the phone line to this entire conversation. So the phone lines are on your screen now. Just look at your screen, and then you will see the phone line. Please, when you call, I'll read out the phone line to you, but they are right now on your screen. But please, when you call, reduce the devices with which you're listening to us. If it's a phone, reduce it. If it's via any other devices, and just reduce the data. And then when you call, please adhere strictly to this instruction. Your name, your location, and go straight to your comment. Forget the plenty bit. This thing is time bound. Go straight to your comment, and you have just 60 seconds to do that. Thank you. So we'll be waiting for your calls. Doctor, please, it's like I'm concentrating because we are really talking about value. You're the professional here, you're the doctor here. And so now, the prevention strategy aside, we know whatever we're doing now is to prevent the polio. Medically, can polio be cured?
No, we don't have a cure for polio.
Oh, really?
No, there's no cure. We just have the vaccine. And then preventive measures like washing your hands and having safe drinking water. You know, we don't have a cure for polio. That's why we are all out to give our children this vaccine. That's why we are all out to have community immunity. We don't want any situation where any surprises will come up amongst us.
Thank you. Let me, Diaz, please take the numbers as they are there now. You have the numbers are plus 234. I take again plus 234 91 66 58 73 55. I take that again. Plus 234 91 66 58 73 55. I'm taking it for the last time. Plus 234 91 66 58 73 55. Please, when you call, please bring down the volume of your devices and your name, your location. Go straight to the point. You have 60 seconds. Let me take you on this, sir. You know, who are the key stakeholders? You know, because we've been collaborating with the health officers for this. Who are the key stakeholders in the communities to engage with? You know, as the second round of the novel oral polio vaccine therapy is about to take off on the 14th. Who are the key? Because you've been in this thing, you work with the health people, it has been ongoing, so you know. I know we'll still come back to the health officer who will, you know, count it all up.
Number one, major stakeholders are those who invite us to come, educate us, train us to go out and mobilize, sensitize. That is the Ministry of Health and Primary Health Management Board. And then we outside, the churches are stakeholder beneficiaries. The traditional rulers are beneficiaries. The market people are beneficiaries. So they are stakeholders too. But besides those who provide the drugs and provide the care givers who go with us to educate people on this. So they train us and then we go out. But there are many people outside. Well, everybody is a stakeholder. Because Papa and Mama are stakeholders, how to make their children get all these things involved, be vaccinated. So if you say stakeholder, I think everybody in the society are stakeholders. As far as health matter is important, not only the health people. I'm not a health person. They educate me and they train me and then to go out and tell people in the churches. Like I said, since 2 weeks ago, I've been announcing this in our ecumenical center. It's in our bulletin, church order. Especially the campaign coming up this week. It's also there, training campaign. We put it there and everybody will come. Of course, the ecumenical center, many churches come. You finish from your church and join us by 12. So that when you hear our announcement, you now go to your church. That's what is it, a government church, the ecumenical center. And so what the government we must keep to it and then spread it to the people. So think for that to be everybody. Okay, that's my own assumption.
So what is your take on that? I know that what one did not remember, the other person cannot.
Yes, I align myself with his opinion in that health matters should not be left to government officers and officials alone. It touches all around. So right from the traditional rulers, the community development committees, our age grades and associations, all of them, everybody should be on board. We are all critical stakeholders. This is not us and them matter. It's all of us. Because once one family suffers, the entire other families are endangered. So I align myself with his thoughts. It's everybody's war to fight.
Well, before I come to you, let us just take some thoughts. the comments are really much with us, and then we'll have to take some thoughts. We'll have to react to some of these thoughts. Engaging you're streaming live with us. Thank you very much, Bridget Edemio. Children deserves a healthy environment for growth. So there should be polio outbreak responses, ushering in multiple rounds of immunization to stop transmission. Oh, wonderful. That's exactly why we're here. The second round is about to take off. Thank you for your thought there, Bridget Edemio. Ben Owaye tourists watching with us, thank you very much. You're streaming live. It's good to know that you're there. Thank you very much. Anthony Uzuriki, watching from Onega, thank you very, very much. Chiwabara, you're watching live with us. This is from Bridget Idemio. Parents should make the primary health care of children their priority by including them in their daily budget. Yes, parents, please always visit the health center. Some of you, even when these polio things are there, you're very reluctant, you're weak, you miss them. Please don't do that. Always be very conscious for the health of the child. Thank you, Bridget Idemio. Very well. Chiwabara, you're there. Ben, you're streaming live with us. Okay, Bona Bushi, thank you very much. Manigo Sote, you're watching live. Faith, thank God you're watching live with us. God bless you. Doris Omaku, you're there. God bless you. Peter Ekabe, novel OPVC2 is an important addition to our resources against poliovirus, given the current epidemiological situation in the country. Oh, Peter Ekabe, thank you very much there for your thoughts. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. This is Golden Female. You're streaming live because thank you very much. Thank you. Charles William Opera, you're streaming live. Lekamaje is streaming live. You're streaming live because this one is from Adus Lab. Mothers should be encouraged to take their children to this, designated post of health center for immunization of the vaccine type 2 to build immunity against the most prevalent children disease. That's exactly, thank you. This is from Y Command. It produces antibodies in the blood, humoral or serum immunity to all three types of polio virus. And in the event of infection, this protects the individual against polio analysis by preventing the spread of poliovirus to the nervous system. You speak small grammar here, we go talk to our health madam. Make she, tell us what you talk there, madam.
Okay, it's what he's saying. What he's saying is what vaccines do.
Yes.
When we give a vaccine to an individual, a vaccine can be a part of an organism, or it can be the whole organism itself. In this case, where I've kept saying that it's a weakened virus. The coronavirus was a part of it was taken and used to make a vaccine. So when the vaccine is given to the individual, it enters the body and when it says antibodies, I prefer to call them soldiers. It forms soldiers in the body, so they are on standby. So that one day, in case you meet the actual virus or you meet the actual organism, your body can recognize it and start fighting for you. So you are better off who has soldiers than the man who never had the vaccine or formed soldiers at all. That's just what he's trying to say.
Thank you, Madam. Viewers, you have heard, she has broken it down. Please take note. That this is from Blessing Jumbo. The basic hygiene in children should be introduced in our home, schools, and religious areas to fight certain diseases in the society. Oh, Blessing Jumbo, thank you very much. That is the key. That is the root of all this, the hygiene practices. This is from Y Canal Command. Giving repeated doses to targeted population does not cause harm to those who receive it, but rather improves their immune systems. Our doctor here has told us. Thank you very much for your response. This is Rosemary Abe had the streaming live with us. Thank you very much. Charles William Opera. More efforts should be made to channel polio vaccine to rural communities to completely eliminate polio in Nigeria. Chinwe Opera, thank you very, very much. This is also from positive response and acceptance of immunization of children depend on effective engagement and sensitization with relevant stakeholders and the general public repeatedly. That is the relationship, I'm sorry, yeah. I'm sorry. ensuring effective dissemination of information and mobilization of children in the states. Yeah, we will come back to comments, but before we do that, let me just madam, let me know this. Why is community engagement important for health promotions?
Yes, families dwell within communities, and there's no way I will reach. Whenever I come up somewhere to talk, I say if I get to AWHELEBE, for example, I can't just enter the community and start talking to AWHELEBE people, come and take this, come and take that. No, I have to identify who they align with. Is it a traditional leader? Is it their counselor? Is it a religious leader? Somebody that is a familiar face. I must go through that person. That is what is community. I will develop a relationship with that person, give my message across, and say, okay, can you introduce me to AWHELEBE people? I want them to take polio vaccine.
Gatekeepers.
Yes, those are the gatekeepers. Those are the stakeholders we are talking about. Can you introduce me to your people? I want to introduce something to them. And then they do. And people say, okay, since Alhaji, who was by the doctor's side, he is buying into what she's saying. We know Alhaji, who will not bring something bad to us. So let us take what she's introducing to us. And that is what effective community engagement is all about for health promotion.
Thank you. Alhaji, let me just say to you, what are the likely risks at the community level that can affect the successful rollout of the novel oral polio vaccine type 2? And how can this risk be managed? You are the one in the communities, the church is a part of the community, the mosque is a part of the community, so you're more likely to identify with it, even though the health person will also know, because over time they've been in this job. So what are the likely risks and how can this risk be managed?
Thank you. I think what we have to guard against is misinformation. You see, once people get misinformed, it takes a whole lot of time for you to break down the barrier created by that misinformation. Let's take this COVID-19 for instance. They will tell you that if you take that COVID-19 and you put your bunch of keys on your body where you took it, it will magnet. Another one is that you will die after 2 years. And they quote somebody in Kenya, somebody in America, somebody in Canada. They will quote everywhere, but they will not quote somebody from the vicinity, because you can't put America to go and find out. So by the time you get to know this misinformation has crystallized, it becomes difficult to break down. So what we have to do is to find a way to navigate around this misinformation, to be able to get the people back to to the reality. And you say, look, when you are listening to people who say you will die after 2 years, or whose a bunch of kids refuse to leave their body as a listen, remember this child, for 9 months, you are battling with this child inside your womb. And it took another 1 or 2 years for you to nurture this child. And somebody is telling you that you should not give to that your child an immunization that will save the life of this child. And you are listening to that. We won't force you. But if it happens, bear in mind that you have every opportunity that has been given to you to save the life of your child. And if in due fullness of time, I say, Mommy, why am I like this? How would you answer the question? The person who gave you that misinformation may have gone his own way. Meanwhile, his or her own children are fully healthy. And sometimes they even go behind to take this without coming back to tell you, say, I don't give my children. No. They will not come back to you because you ask them, no, you tell me, say, this vaccine no good. How you go give your children again? So to avoid that kind of thing, they will go secretly behind, do it for their children, they will leave you alone. So seek information from people who are qualified to give you that information. Discuss with your husband. Go to somebody whom you trust outside your friend who came to give you. How can somebody who is not a medical doctor, who has nothing to do, is a trader like you, a farmer like you, how did he get the information that told you that this vaccine is not correct? And what will it profit government to come and introduce vaccine that will kill all its children? What is their benefit? their own family children are involved. Their commissioners' family children are involved. Their relations, everything, they have their children. Would they also go knowingly to give these things to their own children so that their children will die? No, let us think. So sometimes you need to reason with them in such a way that brings out the folly of the wrong information they have. So it's a whole lot of benefit if we invest more on educating people. You can realize if after 2 years now of intensive COVID-19 enlightenment campaigns, some people still believe that they are not going to take it. And not just should I say, illiterate people or people who are not educated. We are talking about well-educated people. People you look up and say, yes, these are the shakers and makers of the society, coming to express contrary opinion about COVID-19. Don't bring it to my place of worship. Don't bring it to my meetings. No. And these are people you cannot sneeze at. So if it can happen to that level of people, you can know what the communities are going through. So the emphasis must be on giving them the correct information. And this correct information should be delivered by credible people who are in a position to rubbish the misinformation they receive from their peers. So the risk is quite high in that area, but it's not insurmountable. All we need to do, like Reverend has stated there, go through credible stakeholders like the traditional rulers, the councillors, chairmen, local government chairmen, heads of religious organizations, and such like people who are credible enough to debunk whatever misinformation they must have been given out. It's an ongoing, it's not something that can end in a day. The more they keep peddling this, you will intensify the effort. Right now, as far as COVID-19 is concerned, people on their own now, if you walk up to the various health centers and say, I never take you, make gonna give me. On their own, I've seen it happen. Before I think say the thing no go work, or I think say people go die. But as people never die now, make me say follow take, make I get the certificate and protect myself too. You see it happening now, usually. It's just like AIDS too. Before people were, you can't even talk about AIDS. The moment you mention AIDS, people are going to distance themselves from you who mentioned it, even though you are not a carrier. But by constant enlightenment and measures introduced by government to make it more anonymous, you work with a health center for another to test your children or treat your children. The health caregiver comes to you and whispers to you, do you know your status? What status? I mean your age status. No, I don't know. Give me 5 seconds. You know your status. No, money is not involved. Just free. By the time they bring your drugs, you know it. You walk up to them and in 5 seconds, they tell your status, one-on-one. You know? So the question I had, it was done to me. That's how I got to know. I took my children to a health center. The guy came and whispered to me. Even though I knew I was negative. I said, okay, no problem. How long? He said, no. Just 5 seconds. They went, put that in the book. He said, man, you are okay. You are healthy. I said, okay, what if I tested positive? What will happen? So no, the drugs are here. You get the drugs and we'll put you on a regime. You know, so with that now, anybody can go into healthcare without even making noise. Nobody knows what you've gone there for. Nobody knows I've been tested. Even my children who are today never knew I was being tested for HIV. So with that now, the public confidence has increased, and the incidence of this thing beginning to wane. So it's going to be the same thing. We're not going to relent until
you know, in the area of this risk, as you're talking, it just occurred to me that I would mention name. There are very influential people in the religious circle. They have followers with millions. They influence, and when they say something, people follow. You know, talking about this conspiracy theory. They seem to be on the front line. When you're talking, my mind was just, how do we surmount, because these people are people who are authority, their words are authority. When they say something and they have followership all over the world. I say all over, when I mean all over the world. Millions of followership. In this conspiracy theory, they condemn this thing. So how do we do to bring out the people? You've spoken so much, but I just want to let me direct this to you. Okay.
Well, let me say this: that no religious leader that will say COVID-19 or polio vaccine is wrong. But I've worked with almost all of them. Some of them will feel that they have hourly in their churches, some 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and this and that.
Sorry to cut you. The attitude to vaccine generally. I know polio vaccine, the acceptance is high. He just talked of COVID, we're not digressing. But the attitude to vaccine generally, a lot of people, there's a way they react to this vaccine issue. So, yeah.
Some churches will not want you to come to their church and vaccine. Some of those churches will say, please go and receive vaccination at the health center, wherever. You understand? Yeah. But to the churches, you will not allowed to come. But sometimes we say, so church say we should not come, we should not do this, we don't do that. But the other thing, there are some churches who they don't want you any drugs to enter their body, even like vaccination. They don't want it. I don't want to mention those churches, but they believe in prayer. When they are sick, just bring them, they pray in the church. But we are seeing some problem now. Many people have died in the church. They went for prayer. And when the pastor, the evangelist, or the prophet see that it's dangerous, taking to pick a patient. By the time they get to the hospital, they are dead. Some don't want it at all. I agree with you.
Thank you, sir. Let me just make this important comment here from a very former Israeli. She said, how do we help children that their parents refuse the vaccination? How do we help them? There are children because they are just children, and their caregivers and their parents are the ones that will decide for them. How do we help them?
That's why we're on the program now, sensitizing. And I'm sure that somebody will hear us. There are people who live in 4-walled houses, like I say. They have a gate, they have 4 walls. Our workers are going to go house to house. They may knock on these doors, and the mother refuses to allow them come in. But this woman will go to the church. So we're hoping that in the church, among the children of the school, when the children are brought out, that child will be vaccinated there. Or the child goes to the mosque. Or the child is found in the school. We're also appealing to our school owners, private schools, and the rest of it. Please, this is an avenue for us to appeal to you. Can you tell our parents beforehand so that permission can be given for them to vaccinate their children? Because most times, what we hear is the parents have not permitted us to allow you to give our child vaccine. So please don't vaccinate the children. We've sent letters to our Ministry of Education. We've made calls as follow-up. We hope that our parents will please open their hearts and open their doors. When the children are in school, if the workers find them in school, allow our workers to vaccinate the children in school. Give written notes as permission. Give verbal permission as well. So, for the children whose parents will refuse outrightly in the house, maybe we can catch them in school. Maybe we can catch them in the church or in the mosque, hopefully. But we don't pray to see any of such non-compliance in this particular.
Are there likely, side effects of the novel oral polio vaccine type 2? And what can parents and caregivers do when these side effects occur? Maybe in the absence of they are not close to a health facility or this.
Yeah, there's what we call adverse events following immunization. So if your child is given oral polio vaccine, and probably you find that a few hours later the child has a diarrhea, which may be like the most common one that may happen, since it's an orally given vaccine. Locate the nearest health center, or you start by giving your salt sugar solution. Do something while you're taking the child over to the health center. But even when you drink water has a side effect. So we will not say there's nothing related to OPV vaccine for a side effect. So if you notice anything that you're uncomfortable with, after the child was given the vaccine, locate a nearest health center to you and report, because we also like to take it down and then list it.
Okay, I want to take this from Albus Gladstone. We are rounding up now. The Rivers State government and the various local governments should assist in funding the National Orientation Agency to effectively educate, enlighten, and sensitize the citizens on the importance sensitize the citizens on the importance of the novel oral polio vaccine type 2 to mitigate children mortality. Thank you, Glad. Thank you very much. I want to come back to us. Sir, I would like to, to hear your parting words to the viewers. One last statement to the viewers.
What I want to say to the viewers is, personally, as a village pastor many years ago, we found the risk of going out to bury even the midnight, because what we call 5 pillar diseases are not accepted, although in the villages. So any sickness, any boy that die in the night, they say juju killer, and they come and say, pastor, come. You go to the burying ground in the night to bury these children. But because of my last statement, I now tell people, please send your children for vaccination. The 5 pillar disease, I don't call it for pentavalent, something like that. That is 5 injections at once, 5 vaccines at one time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Your last advice.
Yes, my advice is that all parents, all chief imams, scholars, this is their job. They should ensure that mothers are encouraged to ensure that their children are vaccinated. When a mother gives birth to a child, that child becomes public community member. So the head of that community member, that child, should not be left to the parents alone. Where a parent is reluctant to have her children vaccinated, other members of the community, religious community or traditional community, should intervene, because that child, if he contracts that disease, puts all other children in that community at risk. So my advice is that they should all go out for this event from tomorrow, and they should be told that it is free. Let nobody deceive them and say that they should come and pay 1,000 paid. No. Doctor says it's free. The previous ones were free. So that is nobody should have any excuse that I can't afford 1,000 naira that I was billed or 500. No, it's free.
Doctor, your last words. Allay their fears, maybe their bottleneck or anything that wants to, prevent them.
Are there parents? Are there caregivers? Our vaccines are safe. Our vaccines are effective. For our children 0 to 5 years, please avail them the opportunity to be vaccinated. Our healthcare workers will be going out from tomorrow, which is the 14th to the 17th, and they are going to be going house to house. They will be in the health facilities, they will be in the marketplaces, they will be in the churches, they will be in the mosque. They will drop 2 drops of the NOPV vaccine into your children's mouth, and they will mark their fingers to show that they were vaccinated. Please avail them the opportunity to take this vaccine. It will help us a lot. Our children will be protected and we will not have any issues of paralysis as regards polio. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is where we round up today's edition of NOA River State Dialogue. I want to, on behalf of the agency, sincerely thank everybody that has made today's dialogue a good success. I want to start by thanking the people with me in the studio. Reverend Dr. FELIX EKIYE, I want to say a very big thank you. Very big thank you for coming to make our day. NASIR AWHELEBE UHOR JP, River State Islamic leader, Vice President General, River State Council for Islamic Affairs. Thank you, sir, very, very much for coming.
I'm very pleased.
I appreciate your presence.
Please invite me again.
And I want to, thank Dr. BABBO Diana, Head Educator, River State Primary Healthcare Management Board. Mario, You're welcome.
Thank you.
I thank you so much. On behalf of the agency, I say a big thank you. Thank you. And I know you will always oblige us whenever we call you. Now, viewers, you're also very, very important out there. We are doing this because you're there. So I just want to appreciate your comments. Your questions, your comments, everything you do, I just want to appreciate and thank you. The program is 1 hour, it's time bound. There's nothing we can do. When issues like this are discussed, time flies. And so there are some of you that I'm seeing your comments are there, but we could not take them for one time. Please, we are not seeing you as not being important. It's not as if those people who took their comments are more important than you, but it's just time. Your comments will be taken maybe next Friday. On this note, I want to also say a big thank you, for our technical partners that have made everything a success. On this note, we are going to wrap it up for today in Rivers State Dialogue. You've heard from the doctor here. Please, immunization is free. The drugs are safe. They are efficacious. Don't be afraid. Open your house. The churches everywhere, accept them so that the children can be immunized. On this note, we call it today. Until we come your way again next week, same day, Friday, same time, 11 o'clock. Thank you, and God bless you.